Peace and love, family. Today I will be going over what it has, what has been done, I should say, to resurrect the empire. Talking about the resurrection of the empire, I'm going to share with you the things that I have done to resurrect the empire. And when I say empire, Amurickanus Empire. Okay. Just connecting here to other social media outlets. Looks like something is going on with Instagram. Let me see. Hold on. Let me reconnect there. This technology is really advanced. So I am working my best to keep up with the technology. Just going to connect it. Okay. All right. Good to go. So the resurrection of the empire. Here's some things that I have done to resurrect the empire. This is the Library of Congress document, the certificate of registration for a document that was filed and proclaimed on behalf of the empire that went into interregnum. So it's now brought out of interregnum as of 2016. This document can be found at the Library of Congress for the world to see. And the reason this had to be done is because we were operating on a status that the land was abandoned. And because of that, you have the situation that we had been in. A lot of us are not aware that we are free. We are now out of the situation that we were in as far as not having a legal status, not having a lawful status. As most of you know, the status of black is not it is not actually a status. It is a corporate usufruct title, a fictitious title that they have attached to our birth certificates and then to our corporate contracts, such as driver's license, IDs, and different things that you have to have with the state. Okay, so once this was filed, everything is about claims. So the resurrection of the empire had to be reclaimed. Little did I know at the time I was a direct descendant of the empire when it went down. This was done in 2016. At that time, I didn't have the knowledge of my full bloodline on my mother's side. Okay. So that information, as far as how closely connected I was, just recently came out and was revealed to me in the last approximate 1 year. That this is actually my family line. So, DNA doesn't lie. That's why I was moving in that direction. Little did I know. So we are out of the situation of the land being abandoned. So let me share with you what that meant. Okay, the land was abandoned, and because the land was abandoned, right, those that took charge over the land could make their own rules and their own codes, but they were not in the de jure and they were not lawful. So when the land was abandoned, and I'm reading from the Black's Law book, the first edition. This is the one that you should always go to for reference. Black's Law book, first edition. So the term AB, well, the two letters AB mean first. A lot of people say, well, ab, original, doesn't mean that you're original. A lot of people don't know dialect. They don't know the roots of the words, just like abstract of title. Abstract means first. AB. AB is always first. Absolute title. An estate and lands not subject to the defeated, or they are not subject to be defeated upon any condition. So that's what I have claimed, absolute title, under a abstract of title. And a lot of my claims have been published for the record in counties, Library of Congress, and also classified. Okay, this was published in 2017. This was published in 2016. Let me see. Yeah. That was 2018. June of 2018, the classified ad was published. Okay. Ab assutis non fit injuria is what we have been operating under. And also abandonment of freehold. That means you have abandoned your freehold rights. And this is what they had put upon us that we did not know. We did not know our lands and our status had been abandoned. So if you don't notice that your status and your lands, meaning your freehold inheritance, have been abandoned. So there's a term in here called abandonment of freehold. Hopefully you can see this. I'll put it up here. Abandonment of freehold. So we've been operating under the auspices of abandoned land and abandonment of status. Let me, and I had this bookmarked. Somehow the paper came out of it. I'm looking for the term so I can show you in the Black's Law Book Dictionary what the legal status they had us under upon the land. And you can look this up, ab asudis non fit injuria. Where is it? Probably at the very beginning. And these are many of the terms that I have used in my documents going back to the beginning. Ab asudis non fit injuria is what we are coming out of, and ab initio mundi. That's what I have on all of my royal decrees, on all of my documents. That is what we are going back to before war was waged upon us, before the acts of war happened in America and throughout the world. So ab initio mundi means from the beginning of the world. From the beginning of the world. Ab initio mundi means from the beginning of the world. So that is how I title my documents. Let me share this screen with you real quick. So there are actual rule decrees being written under these powers that I have resurrected, that have been resurrected through claims that have been made, and they have to stand because of the the Aborigine imperial royal bloodline that I'm from. And this is something that I just learned the significance of. So once you have the title, once you have the birthright solidified, you have the bloodline solidified, then you begin to move in those powers. Then you can shut down courts, send them orders, learn how to govern and rule upon the land. as we should be. Okay, so the orders come from the International Royal High Courts of the land, which I have resurrected. And if you can see here at the top, ab initio Monday US ad hadidum diem. That means since the beginning of time, what I'm doing has existed. I'm not doing anything different than what my ancestors, forefathers, and foremothers done before me. All I did was come to the planet to resurrect it and bring it back to the forefront. It was already here. This status, this power, what they have done was already here. And I just resurrected it. These courts existed already. King's Court, Court of Magistrates, and Freeholders is restored. So this is one of the notices that went out in 2018, as well as the documents and the claims of my ancestors of the Carolina Charters, 1663, 1665. And I also made reference to the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, although first in time is first in line. So the 1663 and 1665 charter would hold the most precedence. Okay. Those are particular lands that cover the Mason-Dixon line, but the whole proclamation at the Library of Congress covers North, South, and Central America. So these courts have been resurrected. King's Court, which is now Empress's Court, Court of Magistrates and Freeholders, Court of Correction and Errors, Court of Last Resort, Court of Load Managed, Court of Appeal to the highest court on the land. Okay, we're dealing with land now. We're not dealing with the corporate status of the fictional court that's based on admiralty and maritime law. They are vessels sitting on water. Their law deals with water. They are not lawfully situated upon the land. But this they will not tell you. All of it's corporate fiction, which makes it fraud upon the land. That's why you have to know who you are, and you have to know how to stand on who you are when you're dealing with these corporate entities. Doesn't matter if it's a big bad wolf, the courts, these fake rogue police, all of them are on your land acting like they have power. Remember that. It's theater. They have no lawful right or authority to be on the land, one, to challenge you, or to bring harm to you. And so far, that has been the case. So therefore, these orders have gone out since 2020 to remove them from the land. This one went out 2017. This one first went out 2017. But there have been royal decrees going out regarding the corporate status as opposed to the Aborigine status upon the land, which is us dealing with our entitlements to the land. So now that we know we are not from those of us in America, now that we know that we haven't been brought over here from Africa or wherever else they want to misplace us at, now you have to begin to restore your family's legacy that was destroyed and mostly burned and stolen. So that's what I've been doing through the International Royal High Courts and all of the offices, officials, entities, law enforcement. They know who I am. They know who the Royal High Courts are, and they know who the Cherokee Nation, the Moors are. They know who the Imperial Moors are. They know this seal, and they know this insignia, and they know this crest right here. They've been given notice, and they have adhered to these notices on many occasions. But every now and then, you have a rogue that has been put out there to specifically target us. So until we actually get feet and boots on the ground, it is going to be that tug and pull, push and pull, until we can meet physical force with physical force. But lawfully, they are out of order, and they have no more rights or authorities to be on the land at all. So these documents can be downloaded from our website. If you need to use them to stand on your proper status, you really need to have your reclamation documents. The website is aborigineofamexham.com and aborigineofamerica.com. Okay, the law of Ninti and the Aborigine Moors of Amexham Charter is the law, and shall be executed as such upon the land. These laws shall be duly enforced by Empress's law enforcement, the Sharifs, Muftis, Empresses, Army, and Empress's Council. Law of Ninti, abstract of Aboriginal title, Imperial title, claim, Empress's territories, Empress's royal decrees duly filed at Imperial City, Register of Deeds, Mecklenburg County, by royal decree and imperial status of Empress Ninti L. Bay of North Carolina. It is decreed that all departments and agencies upon the land of the Moors, that's the ruling powers, the ruling power of Asiatics, the ruling class of Asiatics call themselves Moors. And tribes had tributary powers. But the Moors, those that consider themselves Moors in these certain family lines, which is the ruling family lines around the world, call themselves Moors. Okay, let me start again. It is decreed that all departments and agencies upon the land of the Moors, North, South, and Central Americas, shall develop, operate, and execute exclusive offices specifically for conducting and facilitating fiduciary affairs. Designate the liaison offices to receive documents, demands, and royal decrees from the Empress's 6 royal high courts of the land that have been reestablished, resurrected, and restored. So there's documents upon documents upon documents that solidify, and all of these writings and decrees are archived at the International World Court at The Hague, International Courts of Justice, International Criminal Courts. So demands have been made. You can go and, like I said, familiarize yourself with these documents and also use them to clear your path and clear your way. Um, you need to get up under our tutelage to really learn how to stand on the documents that I have resurrected and created. Okay. Going further to say, there shall be rent owed in lawful gold or silver, as stated in the instrument. Secondly, pursuant to the aborigine of a Maxim Trust, proclamation and charter, there shall be a sovereign soil tax due and payable to the heirs of the land immediately from all residents and occupants. Remember, when someone forcefully comes onto your land, they are an occupant. They are occupiers. So when you rent a place or, some place to live and they send you a notice talking about occupant, this is where your status come in. They have turned the tables on you. If you look up any wartime verbiage or any wartime commands or definitions, you'll see that occupant means someone that has come to your land and occupied it. But here they are calling you an occupant. And the minute you accept these terms, they got you. This is the problem we have. This is why the lack of knowledge is deadly. We perish from the lack of knowledge. You don't know, most of our people, so-called black people, they don't know who they are. They don't know their proper status, and they don't know how to execute in the proper fashion and articulate their status properly. Going on further to say that there's a sovereign soil tax due and payable to the heirs of the land immediately from all residents and occupants, governments, quasi-governments, states, counties, cities, municipalities. Understand, these governments, quasi-governments, states, counties, cities, municipalities occupying our land owe us a tax. They owe us money. Okay? I remember some years ago when this whole notion came out about land patents. So we drove all the way to West Virginia to the land bank office who had all of the land patents for Detroit. And we get in there and the lady's like, I don't know why y'all keep, and she's a sister, well, she was melanated. And she says, I don't know why y'all keep coming down here, because all you have to do is pay your true tax bill and you won't have no more taxes. So she was giving us game just on GP, letting us know it's ways around this. So I come to learn and figure out what has been going on is that those that have been occupying our land have made it a business to charge us to be on our own land. Turn around and charge us to be on our own land. Isn't that something? So they charging us taxes to run the government that we don't even need them for. On some land that already belonged to us. We paying them to administrate, be fiduciaries, and to facilitate functions of a government. But because they came onto the land and forcefully threw our ruling class out and killed them at gunpoint in many states, if not all, Wilmington, North Carolina, You look at the situation that they dropped bombs on the people in on Black Wall Street. All of this was done strategically in the early to mid 1900s. That lets you know that's when they came. So it was never no 500 years of slavery. Get that out of your mind. Everything you've been taught around the world by Christian churches, Islamic mosques, and Jesuit orders, um, Rosicrucians, all of it is based on a lie to cover up what they did, which was steal the land from the true heirs and people of the land. All of them were a part of it. The Catholics, Islamics, and Jewish synagogues, the Jesuits. The three of those entities are one and the same. They all ran by the Jesuit order, based out of the Vatican. The power bank is in the Vatican, but it's spread throughout the world. So this is what we are coming out of right now. So y'all need to know all of that was lies to cover up what they did and to control the people around the world. Going further to say in this document that all of these governments, quasi-governments, states, counties, cities, municipalities, their successors and assigns owe us a sovereign soil tax to be paid to the Aborigine of Amexham Trust, Executrix, Empress Ninti Bay of North Carolina, conventional and provisional heir. Now I know I am a direct heir and descendant. Lastly, as of October 3rd, 2017, all municipal venues have ceased operation by an act of Congress, HJR 1624. Going further to say, Pope Francis extinguished all corporations under the Vatican rule, motu proprio 2012, 2013, 2014. President Donald Trump just followed suit, extinguishing. Remember, this was written in 2017. President Donald Trump just followed suit, extinguishing the 501c3 organizations. That's why you hear some of these big mega church pastors now coming out telling the truth. Oh, I lied to you. I apologize. I didn't know. Well, I don't believe that. They knew. They've been knowing the whole time that they've been lying to the public. They've been lying to the people about tithing and about a whole lot of other scriptures in there, that in those Bibles and bibliotexts that they're teaching from. So now that it's extinguished, nobody has no power over them and rulership over them, and to be down on their back about what they're teaching. The 501c3 is extinguished. Now you'll start to see the truth coming out, and these pastors going to start teaching out of all of the Bible instead of that certain set of scriptures that you always hear, that they've had been in the past mandated to teach from. So Donald Trump extinguished the 501c3. Additionally, prior to that, things that broke down the stronghold and power structure of the Vatican, the power structure in London, England, the Queen of England, who was not a valid, real bloodline queen, but she was presented to the world as that. which was not true. In the year 2006, Queen Elizabeth Windsor was ordered by the The Hague World Court of Justice, to give all Aboriginal inhabitants under her authority their sovereign rights back. Following that year, in the year 2007, Empress Ninti ascended the throne as an Aboriginal heir of the Americas. This was done by another proclamation notice with a dollar amount and a lien against the governments and the departments of the United States. So this is a notice, one of my notices that went out, and it says, to whom it may concern, lawyers, attorneys, judges, judicial bodies, lawmakers. Understand, lawyers and attorneys are two different things. Congress, U.S. employees, U.S. departments, U.S. offices, U.S. bureaus, U.S. agencies, U.S. agents, assigns, and beneficiaries. We, Aborigine Moors, are no longer under the rule of the Vatican. Let me plug up my, hold on one second, family. We are no longer under Vatican rule. We are no longer under Christian powers. We, the people of the land, are in control of what happens upon our land. Those that act in defiance of this truth and whose allegiance is not with we, the Aborigine Moors, part and parcel of the land, freeholders, freehold landlords. They are traitors who commit high treason, shall be banished from the land. Royal decree and order of high treason shall be issued against you. Individuals, entities, all violators, with the possibility of being detained, arrested, and jailed for a period of time. Now, this was in 2017. Today, I decree for them to be terminated on sight, and all the violations that they know they are committing, they shall do so under the penalties of death. And this is how stern you have to be with these vigilant violators, because they won't stop. It's not in them to stop. They've been given orders and they have taken that oath to the death. So they are out for blood, basically. And the only way to stop them is to eliminate them, terminate them. Because the oaths that these groups, secret societies have taken, fraternal orders have taken, they took those oaths under the penalty of death. So if they don't carry them out, their people can take them out. They already agreed to that. So I put them in a situation where they're damned if they do and damned if they don't, because we are standing in the proper place, in our proper status, and standing upon the land. And if they continue to violate, or if they violate after receipt of this royal decree, they shall do so under the penalty of death also. So now they have to make a choice. It's time for them to pick a side. If you got some good ones who are genuine at heart, they know how to pick a side. They can tell where the power is moving. They don't have to continue to be wicked, but if they do, that's totally up to them. But what they thought was they were going to keep winning and they were going to keep having their foot on our necks, doing whatever they want to do on the land. So it was no benefit to them to stand down from those fraternal orders. But when you come up against powers unseen, there's nothing they can do with that. So this is what we have to do to become the rulers on this land again. We have to learn how to keep these people under control, stand our ground, and make them adhere to the orders and commands and demands. In this case, what Empress Ninti Bay and the Royal High Courts have said. You can no longer do what you want to do here. That's what it is. And I don't budge. I'm not scared. I'm not stepping down. I'm not backing down. I'm here to do this, and that's what I'm going to do. No matter who is there around me, I know how to protect myself. My ancestors have given me guidance to do this job. I don't suggest y'all do it at home. I don't suggest that, you try to do what I do. Everybody does not have the same covering. You have to be here to do this work. It is no joke, but it has to be done. And they come to me and my family all the time, so I got to make sure it gets done. So I'm just letting you all know that these corporate entities are defunct, literally. The fraternal orders are shut down since 2018, but you have powers on the land that are rogue, and they are used to doing what they want to do, and they're taking orders from the Vatican, and they're fighting us right now. They are fighting the fact that they don't want to leave. Love, guys. Thanks for joining. They do not want to leave. This is the problem. This is what we're dealing with right now. When you see that they do not want to, they're still fighting, they're still doing certain things to our people, violating our people. This is why. This is what the big fight is. This is exactly what the fight is. Okay, so going further to say, and I hope this is coming out clear on your end. Going further to say, and this is just a few of the royal decrees. I write royal decrees every day, just about, to clear our path, to correct the violations that have been going on around the world. As I stated, once you claim your proper status, you identify your place in the grand scheme of humanity, meaning in my particular case, my bloodline dictates that I can do this, and the heads of state and world leaders have to listen. Once I was able to identify these things and see that my orders are being adhered to, first of all, I had to get the word, I had to get the guidance, I had to hear this in my ear for myself. The ancestors told me, guided all of this, start writing these royal decrees, start putting these people in their place, do this, do that. And as I'm moving in obedience, now I'm able to see, I'm saying, ancestors, what do you want me to do? Now that you told me this, what else do you want me to do? So each day I have to ask, what am I supposed to do today? What am I doing? So they've been guiding me. But this was before I even knew the royal lineage that I'm from. And before I knew that the ruling families that have been ruling for approximately 100 years are the ones fighting me. Because they knew all along that I am from the bloodline to be able to give orders. And so their main thing was to try to stop me. And not only that, they probably have astrologers and astronomers. And I'm sure they do, because they don't make moves without them. So they already know what my purpose is. So they was fighting me the whole time before I even knew and came into the fullness of what I was supposed to be doing, which is what I'm doing right now. Resurrecting the empire, resurrecting international courts, giving orders, representing the empire, the true empire of the Aborigine, the royal rulers of the world, and resurrecting our place in the world and in society and in these governments, which we are the ones that's supposed to be ruling them, not a corporate entity. So I went on to say, as of April 2018, notice has been duly served to all pertinent parties that Fraternal Order of Police are relieved of their duties, starting with the Imperial City. Policy enforcers who aim to uphold Vatican Nicene rule upon our land shall be detained, arrested, and jailed. That's being nice. Like I said, that was in 2018, 2017, and 2018. Today, 2022, they still doing the same thing, violating the royal decree, violating an imperial ruler who they know is of that bloodline, because these people who've been running things are my cousins, distant cousins. They're taking orders, but these, like I said, fraternal orders, secret societies, and all of these other beings, all these other groups and entities, they are born into this. Their families are born into this. So if they get an order, they have to do it. They have to follow suit with this order. That's why we have to be strong enough to hold the gate and hold our ground and be able to push them back. They have been bullies because they know they have all the knowledge. They stole all of the secret sauce. They sold all the secret sauce from King David Solomon. So they know how to make things happen. And they use the spirit realm to have power. But we never knew that. So we didn't have no power. They took over the governments and started ruling over people when it wasn't their actual inheritance, birthright to do that. But because they had the knowledge, we didn't have a choice. They just kept their foot on our necks. So now it's time for us to get back the knowledge and the power on how to push them back. We know they're wicked. We know they're violating us. So now what are we going to do about it? You first have to do this in the spirit realm. And then you come forward with your indigenous aborigine bloodline and you give them orders. But before you do that, you have to make sure that you can govern, that you can force them. Because this is what they're doing. They're sorcerers. They use power of the spirit realm in these governments. So before you jump up and say you're an empress, you're an emperor, and you want this and you want that, and you jump up in these people's face, you gotta be protected. You gotta be protected. Because they do all kind of stuff and they have the numbers. They have these people that will follow you. I'm just telling you what I know. If you're really serious about taking your land back and you know you have land and you've made the proper claims, then you need to get in your spiritual bag and learn how to be the magi's and the magicians that they talk about in the Bible, because that's what they were doing back then. That's what you need to do now. It's no game. It's no joke. I had to learn. I had to learn how to come into full fruition to be this ruler and make them obey my orders. Like right now, the courts are supposed to be shut down. They snuck and opened the courts up not too long ago. But I already did what I needed to do spiritually. So we're going to see if they're able to go back in there. You have to know that you have to be on the same level playing field as your opposition. If your opposition is doing sorcery and dealing in the spirit realm, you got to learn how to protect yourself. One, you got to learn how to reverse and push back whatever they're trying to do to you. And then you got to learn how to keep them under control, because you are the ruler. You are in the proper place. You are the one that governs the land. You are the one that they have to bow down to, and you have to make them bow down. They're not going to bow down just because you said in your paperwork that they don't have no jurisdiction. And we all been there. I've been there also. But I'm just telling you, before you go out putting all this paperwork in and tell who you are and who they are not, you better have your spiritual game up, because they already there waiting on you. I learned it the hard way. It just so happened that I was smart enough to beat them all the time in court. They could never lock me up under the jail like they wanted to. But for a lot of y'all, it may not be the case. You got to have all of your stuff working for you. You have to have all your tools working for you, especially if you are claiming Aboriginal, Indigenous status under being a Moor or just being an autochthonous individual. You need to know how to protect yourself and go into your ancestors' shamanistic practices to be able to protect yourself. Because there is no clerk, there's no judge, there's no attorney that was not initiated into a priesthood or a secret society, and they are doing their rituals against us. They are doing their witchcraft, sorcery. Everything is set up around it in the courts. Even the time that they give court is a ritual. That 1:30, 1 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock, they doing their ritual. Now they having court at 1:30. Now you can let them in. You can let them in. It's 1:30. We done put our spells all over everybody. I'm telling you. There's nobody that works in those buildings in any government, any municipality that is not doing, uh, that has not been initiated into a priesthood, fraternal order. So, moving on to say, these notices have been given out from lawful heir who has made a lawful claim, who brought the empire out of interregnum, and they're still violating here and there. They don't want to violate me anymore because they had to bite the bullet, like I said, under the penalty of death. So now I have to do it for everybody in my family, my tribe, because this is the tug and pull for now, because they just still fighting for power. If you've been in power and you've had your way on the land all this time, you're not gonna want to give it up easily either. So that's what we're going through. It's not that they don't honor our paperwork sometimes, or they don't honor our passports, or they don't honor our uh, plates and different things like that. No, that's not the case. You have just as many rogues on the land who are not in proper authority, who are not even real police and sheriffs, as you do the real ones. It's too many It's too many Indians ruling and not enough chiefs. Put it like that. And that's what we've been dealing with. You got a lot of people running in power. So if they tell if they own this police car and they have two or three people on the land ready and waiting in police uniform, waiting to get a call to do their bidding for them, that's what they're going to do. You have mercenaries out here. That's why you have to get up on your spiritual game. These are not real police. They'll call mercenaries in to come do a killing and then make them disappear, or come and do something to somebody and make them disappear. Army vets, anybody that's under the government or been under the military, they have a contract with them, a life contract with them. They can call them up at any time and say, come over here, we need you. Suit them up in uniform, put them in the police car, go do this. They go back, drop off that police car, get out of that police uniform, and get on a bus or a plane and go back wherever they came from. And nobody would know the difference. It was just another police shooting. I've seen these things with my own eyes. I know what these people do. This is what we've been dealing with. This is why I stay in my spiritual bag every day, all day. And all of y'all who watching, who want to be a governor and a ruler on this land, I'm telling you what it takes. You have to be careful. Even with the paperwork, soon as they see you conscious, soon as they see you bucking the system, they trying to come for you, trying to block you. So these lands have been resurrected out of interregnum and deemed not abandoned, and have been the door has been opened to the Aboriginals to start our own governments. Nobody is challenging us. If anybody challenges us, it's going to be some rogue Yahudis somewhere, um, you know, these Scottish Rites, secret orders, Ku Klux Klan, skinheads, it's going to be somebody rogue. It's not going to be someone of proper authority. I just want y'all to know that. So when these people just step up and try to fool you and make you think that uh, things aren't what they are, you have to know how to stand your ground and keep going in your proper status, in your proper direction. It is, if it's proper and you are in your proper place, all the forces going to be with you. And right now, all the forces are with us because our land has been given back to us. If you don't go to our website and use those documents, you can go to uh, Barack Obama, the ex-president Barack Obama, put out so many executive orders indicating um, situations of atrocities, bringing the land back. Use some ammunition. Let these people know that you are aware of your rights. That's the number one thing that I've been an advocate for. You need to know your rights. You need to know that this is available to you. Don't let these corporate entities continue to walk in powers that they don't deserve, powers that is not theirs. It's time for the Aboriginals to walk back in their proper places and to know that the governments were ran by your ancestors or those that look like you in your family line and people you know. Learn the truth. Then you can get the ammunition inside to wake your DNA up to start moving forward in that capacity. So these are some of the things that I've done. Let's see. So this royal decree here, and again, all of the royal decrees that I put out are titled Ab Initio Monday, US ad Hadidum Diem. This stance, this law, these decrees have been here since the beginning of the world until this day. That's what that means. So when they see that, they don't play with me because they know I know who I am. I know the truth, and they better bow down because I'm coming with all the power and the forces of my ancestors. So this is an Imperial SG and expulsion, 30-day notice to quit. This one went out, I believe, right after January 1. Let me see. And I have a bad habit of forgetting to put the date on stuff. I'll have to go back into the file and it'll tell me what actual date. I think I had attached this to something else though that had a date on it. But right around January 1, did y'all seen the video with me going to the court, sealing it up, and the sheriff was right there holding my back, watching my back, making sure nobody came and did anything adverse to me to stop me. I sealed that court. Then I went probably a couple of weeks later and sealed one of the police precincts, moving in the imperium powers of my ancestors. Nobody tried to stop me. Nobody tried to harm me. Plenty of them was around. So I'm just telling y'all the state the state of address that we are in right now in America and worldwide. These lands are coming back to the original, the Aboriginal tribes. And these royal decrees have been going out since 2017. Well, the first decrees, imperium orders that I wrote was in year 2014. That's when they really started coming after me. Then when I wrote the 2016 proclamation and filed it at the Library of Congress, right before that, uh, 2015, when they really came after me with that Piper Glen stuff, which was all fake, a fraud. But that's why they really started coming after me, because I started moving in that power and they couldn't do anything about it. Going in, smashing the banks, going into their houses with some paperwork, because I already know the dirt on them. I already know that they've been sanctioned. They don't have no ownership of no property. No bank can own land. No bank can own property. You know, all you got to do is go to uh, the congressional websites and look up all the rulings against the banks and send them an affidavit and a notice and let them know, yeah, this one is mine. Out of all these hundreds of thousands of houses you got, this one is mine. And show them and send them in all the dirt that's on them. They ain't moving. They ain't moving on. They can't do nothing. Take it from somebody that know. But see, you have to be fully confident and aware of what you're doing. And they just don't want an uprising. So they tried to silence me because they don't want me helping people. They was following me in and out of court because I was helping people, trying to get me on something, talking about I'm not an attorney, stuff like that. They just don't want you waking up the people. They have a problem with that because that'll bring down their whole system if everybody know they're a fraud. Yep. So this was ordered, letting them know regarding the antebellum. The heirs of the land shall go back to their normal way of existence before the war. Land and property has reverted back to the heirs of the land, back to their status before the war. Indian Wars, 1901 to 1929. So Scottish, Irish, French descendants, and you see them all up and down the South in Louisiana, all of them shall return the land and property as it was before the war. Voluntary vacant Voluntarily vacate land, property, and premises. Mineral land rights have been claimed by an indigenous tribe pursuant to Title 25 USC 194 and Law of the Land. So this decision is res judicata. The entire state of North Carolina is reservation territory. Individuals occupying the land and property must be completely vacated within 30 days of notice. Occupants are subject to be forcefully removed from the escheated property after 30 days. So this has already went out to all governmental entities, the president, the Pentagon, Department of Defense, international courts. So I'm just waiting on my army. Everybody know what time it is. I don't hold nothing back. That's why they come for me. Because as soon as I get that, don't even ask no questions. You already been given notice. These notices went out, been going out since 2017. I'm just preparing the way, you know. I'm doing what the ancestors said. Give these people they notice, and they can play if they want to. So when the time is right, when the ancestors see fit to give Empress an army, all of these orders going to be carried out, and it ain't going to be nothing they can say. I don't have to give another notice. I don't have to keep talking. I'm coming to smash. Period. Get off the land. That's it. Drink some water. Do whatever you got to do. But by that time, it's going to be too late to drink some water because they still in violation, especially the ones that want to continue to do egregious things, egregiously violate, you know? Okay, so this is the law of Ninti, notice of law, which was duly filed in Mecklenburg County. Everything has been lawfully filed. For the records, so the public can see it, and it's also filed on my website, Aborigine of America. Aborigineofamerica.com. And the next screen share. I'm looking for the next screen share. Is the notice. Okay. So I have so many documents, so many claims. Abstract title is the main one. This was filed after the proclamation in 2016. Abstract of Aboriginal title, imperial title claim. Ain't nothing they can do with that. A deed can't light a candle to an abstract of title, to an Aboriginal claim. So y'all need to learn the proper terms to use, the proper verbiage to use. Pull out your Black's Law book, first edition. Pull out the Black's Law book, first edition, and learn how to smash these people with these terms. All the other editions, Bouvier, first edition is good too. But Black's Law book got the real law, has the real law. And just compare it to the other ones. Once you see what's in black, it's a PDF, I believe, out there that you can download. I think I have it on PDF also. But this right here, I wanted to have in my hand. So when I'm up late at night, I know this is the word that is actually coming. It ain't been altered. This is what it is right here. All the terms you need to use in your legal verbiage, lawful claims, is right in here. So this is one of the claims, just one of them. Let me see when this was filed. And this is an instrument. So this has a monetary value. Anything that you put in the county has a monetary value on it. This is why they try to block you from filing something in the county, because this is the original de jure banking system. The executives of the state, of the IRS, Treasury, go and get these documents from the county, and they use them just like they use your birth certificate, which is also an instrument, a monetary instrument. This was filed, need my glasses on. Okay, February 2018. Straining my eyes in this computer. Excuse me 1 second. Put on my computer glasses. Okay. Okay. This was filed February 2018, and they kept trying to block stuff. they they kept trying to block people. They kept trying to block me. But you have to stay persistent. If you for real about this life, you have to stay persistent in your doings, and you will definitely prevail. Don't give up. Don't stop the fight. Get that fire burning. Find out. Get I don't care if it's uh, balled up, halfway burned up piece of paper of a claim that your ancestors had years ago. You better find it and you better claim it, because this land is up for grabs right now, because they know we coming back. They know the veil is lifted. They know the land has been reclaimed and resurrected. You need to get your stuff in order. All these royal decrees that I have written has helped a lot of people restore their family's inheritance. Go to the website, download them, learn more about the claims, the lawful, rightful inheritance of claims that I have made, and use that as ammunition, as well as a 1-page affidavit of your own writing, of your own claim, and work towards getting whatever lands that you feel have been taken or have been taken from you and your family. Excuse me. You have to know that no corporate claim can supersede your claim. That means those that had a banking loan on land that they stole 100 years ago have no proper claim against you, but you have to know your status first. You have to be able to claim, properly make a claim on your status first. Jurisdiction is everything. Status and jurisdiction is everything. Okay? Just know we have been under an illusion. All of it is fraud based upon what they stole. You don't own no bank, nothing. You aboriginal to this land, and your ancestors had any land anywhere at any time, go back and get it. Go back and get it. So in 2017, Empress filed an abstract, the Aboriginal title. The full document is 133 pages. This is written pursuant to the authorities of heirship and Aboriginal claims, law of heirs, doctrine of heirship, Aboriginal titles and claims, international commercial claims, King James I, biblical laws, King Charles II, Carolina charters of 1663 and 1665, His Majesty's laws of North Carolina, 1739. His Majesty Emperor Muhammad III bin Abdullah Al-Khatib of Morocco's Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1786, 1787, and 1836. Now, going back in retrospect, Morocco is under the Amurickanus Empire, has always been and will always forever be. That is a part of the Amurickanus estate. So, therefore, Emperor Muhammad III bin Abdullah received his powers and authorities from America. We can't find a lot of the documents because they destroyed them. This is the seat of the empire, has always been the seat of the empire, and it will forever be until an heir of the Amurickanus estate of the first family, imperial royal family, changes it or decides to change it. For now, it is still America. Morocco is under the Amurickanus Empire. Italy, London, England is under the Amurickanus Empire. Japan Empire is under the Amurickanus Empire. South America, America, Canada is all America. Those three right there is America. They split it up when they sold the land in 1913. Canada is America. South America is America. Central America is America. That whole 3 countries is America. It's one land. It's just so much y'all need to really know. We have been taught we had a lot of missing information, put it like that. Those of us who are truth seekers, we have been standing on the Treaty of Peace and Friendship because we had that available to us. That was found as a document back in the day, and it got passed around as a staple for those of us claiming under the banner of Moors. Okay, but that is not the only claim. And come to find out, Morocco is under the Amurickanus Empire. It's not the other way around. Ashe. Okay, here's some of the verbiage in the abstract of Aboriginal title and imperial title as an heir to the land, and it is duly filed for the record now and forevermore at the Register of Deeds, Mecklenburg County, 2018, February 22nd, instrument number 2018 020760. Now, all men and women, I present this claim. This is a claim of title to land and absolute. There go that word absolute. The ancestors gave me that word. And let me go in this Black's Law book and see. There's so many things in here under absolute. Absolute conveyance, absolute covenant, absolute estate, absolute interest, absolute law. What does it say for absolute law? The true and proper law of nature, immutable in the abstract or in principle, in theory, but not in application. For very often the object, the reason, the situation, and other circumstances may vary its exercise and obligation. The main thing is the true and proper law of nature. Immutable, also meaning immovable. Absolute interest. That means that if you have an interest in something, it is absolute. Okay? The word absolute is unconditional, complete, and perfect in itself, without relation to or dependence on other things or persons, as an absolute right. So you'll see me using the word absolute a lot. Her Imperial Majesty and Absolute is what the ancestors gave me, and that's the title that I use when I deal with the international courts and the governments, Pentagon, Department of Defense, White House. I really pretty much don't um, deal with the White House. I'm just in an order high up. Everybody in the White House is pretty much a puppet who has been working for corrupt cousins in my family line. So to avoid any type of interference or spying, I just go over their head and now I give orders to correct things and make things right and stop all these falsehoods that are going on with the media, with the governments. It's all being manipulated and orchestrated by those in the black nobility families. So I use my position of power to stand them down and correct them. And it has been a fight, but it is getting much, much more easier. The more I continue to do this work, the more I continue to do my job that I came here to do. I have to remember why I came here. We all have a planetary purpose, a reason why we came here. And I'm realizing the more I walk in my purpose, the easier it becomes. Even though it's not, it looks and it appears to be very difficult to many. But as long as I'm walking in what I'm supposed to be doing, it becomes very easy. But I just had to realize and go forward without fear and know that I'm divinely protected and this work has to be done and these corrections shall be made in this lifetime. There's nothing to be worried about. There's nothing to be in fear of. It does not matter how many oppose me. It does not matter how many oppose us as a group, as a family, as the Aboriginal inhabitants, autochthonous of the world. You have to stand your ground. Everything is in alignment for us, family. There's nothing and no one in this lifetime that can no longer stop us. With that, I'll be back tomorrow with more resurrection of the empire and to share with you the great works that the Most High creators and ancestors have created through me. If you want to see more of what I am talking about, the documents, you can download them at Aborigine of America.com, which is on the screen, I believe, right now. Peace and love, family. And as always, it has been a blast. And if you have any questions, you can shoot me questions real quick in the chat. If not, you can email me at Empress Royal Quartz at protonmail.com. Let me put that here. Somebody asked about passports. Yes, passports are available to all who take allegiance, all those who carry allegiance and alliance with our stance and with the resurrected empire may apply for the passport, the American passport. You will not be a diplomat, but you can get the American passport. Let me see if I have one handy. You can see. I have a stack of them over here. I had one over here. What did I do with it? Well, I'll be back tomorrow and I'll show it to you. Peace and love, family. I don't see any questions in the chat, so that must mean that you all are good to go. So that's all for now. I will see you later. Peace and divine love. Be sure to share and go to my description box below and check out our merch. I would love for you to partake in the merch that helps us out. Keep this good content going. Ashe. Peace and love. Till the next time. Empress, the Godmother, loves you. Ashe.